getting rich is not an act, it is a habit. So it is staying poor. It's also not an act, it's not something just happens to you, it is a habit. Most people, they listen to a webinar, they watch a video, and they say, oh, this guy's making whatever, how much money online. I could do that, and they jump into it, and then they try for 3 months, and say, oh, this thing doesn't work. Why do you think people watch reality TV? You know what, I thought my life is a mess, but look at these people on TV. Instantly you feel better about yourself.
Need motivation?
Watch a top 10 with Believe Nation.
What's up, Believe Nation? It's Evan. My one word is believe, and I believe in you. I believe you have Michael Jordan level talent at something, and I want you to find it, embrace it, and use it to make a difference. So let's get your motivation to a 10 and get you believing in you. Grab a snack and chew in today's lessons from a man who went from immigrating to Canada at age 14 with zero money and not speaking any English to failing 13 separate businesses to now becoming one of the highest paid consultants in the real estate game. He's Dan Lok, and here's my take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1, learn more.
When the first business partner that I had, it was like basically he was my neighbor. At the time, I was trying to build my little business, and he sold me on the concept, oh, you need a website, and I paid him some money. Long story short, he's basically scammed me out of like $150,000.
Oh, wow.
I lost all my mom's money, all the savings, and I didn't know anything about internet marketing. And then right after that, because that experience was so traumatic for me, from then on, everything I do, I said, I want to learn it 100%. So I went, and at the time, internet marketing, I bought the Corey Rudo course. I don't know if you remember, the Insider Secrets to Marketing Internet.
Right.
The 2 big binders, like 600 pages. I went through it in 2 days.
Wow.
And from then on, I was just like reading I forget about like reading a book a month. I was reading a book every 2-3 days.
Wow.
So that experience changed how I operate. And that's how I developed this hunger to learn as much as I could. So I would feel, I don't think it's a healthy thing, because when I went to Tony's event, Unleash the Power Within, I don't know if that's a healthy thing, but I always have this feeling of, no, I need to know more.
Right.
I need to know more.
Right.
Rule number 2, my personal favorite, add value.
I was knocking on door, and no one, like I was knocking, hey, do you want me to mow your lawn? No, we don't need that. We don't need that. At the time, my mom had a friend, my aunt. She had a printing business, right? Like, printing business card and flyers and all that. So I went to my aunt and said, hey, aunt, why don't, you print a bunch of flyers? I will help you distribute in the neighborhood, like printing service. But there are 2 sides of a flyer, right? Right? I said, you print 5,000 of these, I'll run around, I'll distribute it. On the other side, can I put my stuff on it? Right?
Yeah, my lawn mowing services,
It's just like, oh, what the heck, right?
Yeah.
And so I've been always very entrepreneurial.
Yeah, you know how to, be resourceful in the situation.
Win-win, right?
Yeah. Because a lot of people wouldn't have even tried that, because they'll say, well, I don't have the money for a lawnmower, I don't have any of that. So
that stops them, right?
Yeah, it's a good proof right there that it's not about what you have, it's about what you do with what you have.
100%.
And you were exuding that even at a young age.
It's never lack of resources. I think it's a lack of resourcefulness, right? And I was just resourceful. I had no money. So I had time. I can put in effort. And I distributed all 500 flyers. I ran home, and I was just waiting for the phone. I thought, I'm going to get rich.
Yeah.
I thought, oh my God, 5,000 people? Oh my God, I'm going to get 100 phone calls. Oh, I'm going to block my time. I'm still going to school. I thought I'm gonna make like thousands of dollars, right?
Right.
1 hour, no call. 1 day, no call. 3 days, not a single one. I was checking the flash. Did I put in the wrong number?
Right.
No, it's the right number, right? Not a single phone call from the flyer, right? And I learned, okay, there's something that you can have a great product, a great service, but if you don't know how to get it out there, do marketing and get people to pay attention, no one's gonna buy from you. So I came with an idea. I thought to myself, and this affected my philosophy for the rest of my life, my business philosophy. So I think back, the very first client I had who paid me 20 bucks. What did I do? I mowed the lawn first before asking anything in return. That's how I got that first $20, right?
Right, yeah.
I thought, let me do that again. So I ran around the neighborhood, and I found probably one of the higher end expensive homes in the neighborhood. and I saw the lawn was like up to this high, like high. And I just found a day and I just mowed the entire thing. Now this is illegal.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that. I'm not an advocate of that, but I did that.
So you didn't even knock on their door? You
No, I just mowed the whole lawn, right? I did the whole thing.
Right.
And I finished the whole thing and I sat at the front door waiting for the homeowner to come back. Okay, it's funny, it's a housewife. She came back and she couldn't recognize her lawn because it's this lawn.
Right, yeah.
She drove by and then she drove back and she pulled, what the hell is going on, right?
Right.
And she's like, who are you? I said, I'm just a kid. I'm trying to make some money. I provide these services to fly. Oh, this is awesome. My husband travels all the time. He's never home. I can't do this stuff. Thank you so much. You make my lawn look so nice. She gave me $100.
Wow.
$100, right? And that affected me for the rest of my life. So my business philosophy until this very day, if you say one of my motto for business, add value first before you ask anything in return. That's how I always approach. You know how most business people, they approach somebody, they want to sell them some shit. Right? Or they want to, hey man, you do something for me, or like, on social media, people come to me all the time, or they feel like just because I'm successful, that I'm obligated to help them.
Right, you can so easily will just give them handouts.
That's not the case. They got to earn it. So my philosophy is any interaction with people, how can I add value to what you do? It's always my most favorite question is this: what is the most important project you're working on that I can add value to?
Rule number 3, improve yourself.
Many years ago when I first met my mentor, and I was telling him about all these businesses that I had started, I said, hey, Alan, I started all these businesses and somehow, I don't know, man, I'm not making enough money, I'm struggling. I don't know why. My customers, they're like cheap, they're very difficult to deal with, and oh man, I don't know, the economy, it kind of sucks, and I think I pay too much in taxes. I was rambling on and complaining and bitching about all these things, and he said, stop. I said, what? He said, stop. I said, what do you mean? He said, stop. He said, it's very simple, Dan. Let me teach you something. He said, if your business sucks, it's because as a business person, you suck. I said, what? No, I work hard. I said, I was very defensive. I was like, I learn and I try to do my best and try to serve my customers. He said, no, you suck as a business person. He said, if you got sales problem, it means you suck as a salesperson. If you got employee problem, it means it sucks that you're a manager and a business leader. It's very, very simple. He said, remember this, your business is always a reflection of you. Your business is always a reflection of you. Nothing more. So, if you think about it, why most businesses fail? I think why most businesses fail is because the reason, the intent, most people, they start the businesses for the wrong reason. They start the business because they want to get out of a job. They start a business because they want to make money, of course. Nothing wrong with that. They start a business because they think maybe there's an opportunity. It sounds like it's easier to make money. It's not. They started for the wrong reason. Versus they see a need in the marketplace, there's a skill, there's expertise, there's some value they could bring to that particular industry, right? There's something that you could bring. So think about it, it's like think of starting a business like flying a plane. And you can't just say, well, I'm passionate, I have a great idea, let me fly that plane. Well, have you fly a plane before? No. Do you know how to fly a plane? No. Do you know where you're going? No. But it looks like fun. Let me get on a plane. What are the chances of you crashing? Very high. And that's why statistics shows 90% of small business fail in the first 5 years. Even the ones who survive after 5 years, most of them don't pass the $1 million mark. They're just kind of surviving. And that's why people go into business for the wrong reason, and they go into business without the proper training. without the skills. I could tell you when I had all those failures, when I started all these crazy businesses, and why they failed, it's not because the vehicle, it's because of me as a business person, that I didn't have the business acumen, I didn't have the business experience, I didn't know anything about leadership, marketing, sales, negotiation, raising capital, any of these skills I have today. So everything I did, it didn't work because I was a lousy business person. I sucked as a business person. But I learned from my mistakes, and that's the good thing about business. You could suck many, many, many years. When you get better, you learn from it, you suck less. And when you practice and you dust yourself out, you learn from mistakes, you suck even a little less. Until one day you wake up, you say, you know what, I don't suck no more. And one win in business can make up for a lot of losses. One win can make up for all your losses.
Rule number 4, set wealth triggers.
So you notice I have a lot of wealth triggers in my office. So it's not just decorative item, everything means something to me.
Right.
So I have like, the LOK that represents personal branding.
Yep.
So I can think about that, like leadership, energy, and
sure.
wisdom. So everything's that in my office, I call them wealth triggers.
Yeah.
It should create certain type of feeling environment for me, right? I always believe the environment is more powerful than your willpower.
Right,
So I want it
for
to be
sure.
performed. So I have meetings here all
awesome.
the time. People
That's
come
awesome.
over every week almost.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I have the Chinese kind of
Right.
saying there.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can translate that. Basically, it means a kind of like the other world, a battle's won before it's ever fought.
Right.
And your decisions affect the outcome of the battle, even you're like 1,000 miles away.
Right.
That's roughly how it
That's
goes.
cool.
I like
That's cool.
strategize, strategy, right?
No, I love that.
Rule number 5, find mentors.
I tried most things like most people. I read the success books and going to
Think and Grow
seminars
Rich.
and Think and Grow Rich and How to Win Friends and Influence People,
Right, yeah.
right? Back and forth many times. Like all these books, and I would get up in the morning and I would look in the mirror and say I'm successful and it's gonna be a great day.
Affirmation,
and I would visualize. I did all this.
Meditate, law of attraction,
meditate, and put vision board. I did all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, all
Right.
this stuff, right? So it was okay. I think all those things they help, but really the turning point was when I found my first mentor. His name is Alan. Alan. And at the time, Alan he ran one of he was the founder of RAIN, Real Estate Investment Network in Canada, which was at the time one of the largest real estate investment network in Canada. And
How did you find him?
good question.
Because I want to ask you that, because there might be somebody listening to this or watching this that might be on their 12th or 13th failure,
Yeah.
right at that turning point. So to somebody sitting there and kind of confused, how did you find your mentor, and what would be your recommendation?
I'll tell you how I found my mentor, and I'll give them the advice of where to find. So at the time, I was just like an opportunity junkie.
Right.
I had no money, so I would attend these like free seminars, and I would get on these like mailing lists, right?
Right.
And Alan was running one of the largest financial seminar companies in Canada. He was the first one that brought Robert Kiyosaki to Canada.
From Rich Dad Poor Dad,
Yeah,
Robert
first guy.
Kiyosaki.
Before even Kiyosaki was famous, he was the first guy. So I was getting all these junk mails, direct mail, like not Instagram, not Facebook,
Right.
direct mail, right?
Yeah.
And I would always be fascinated by the way that he would write these sales letters.
Right.
And I would collect them. I would collect them, put in 3-0 punch them, put them in a binder, and I would save them and would study them. I was just fascinated by the way he communicates, right?
So the copywriting on
Copywriting.
there.
And I remember the name Alan Jacks, right? That's his name. And at the one time I was attending a free conference. I was sitting in the back, and I was watching the speaker. A gentleman sat down next to me and was watching the speaker, was looking at you. I was like, I noticed a name tag.
Yeah.
It says Alan Jacks.
Wow.
And I thought, no way.
Yeah.
No way. And I said, are you Alan Jacks? He said, yes. I said, are you the one that's hosting these events and writing these letters? And it's like, yes. He said, I am. I'm like, holy right? Holy That's my internal dialogue. I try to be calm.
Right.
I said, holy I said, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
Like, I love what you do. And he thought I was referring to the event. I was like, yeah, you know, we do pretty good events. I said, no. I study your letters.
Yeah.
I said, I collect them. I tell them I collect these letters. And he was shocked. Because I don't think he's ever had anyone telling him that.
Right.
Like a young guy, 21 years old, like talking
Fanning
about
out on
marketing.
the copyright.
Yeah, like collecting the junk mail. And I was just fascinated. I said, Mr. Jack, I said, can I buy you lunch? And I always remember the reply. He paused. He said, what the hell, I gotta eat.
Yeah.
That was the start of a relationship.
Wow.
And we had lunch, we talked for hours. And then afterwards, I asked him to be my mentor, which he turned me down. And I was, again, not recommending this. I was basically stalking him in his office. Right? I went to his office every day.
So you would physically go there?
I would go to the office, I would say anything, I would pick up the trash, anything.
Yeah.
I would just demonstrating, I want to help, anything.
Yeah.
I don't care about money. I don't want a salary. I don't want anything. And finally, a month later, they said, "Okay, I just need to hire you. Just so this is like this is bothering me so much, right? He's bothering my staff. Fine, like this young man is like crazy, right?" And he did. And I worked for him for almost for a year for next to nothing.
Wow.
And I was funny story. So we were doing a lot of direct mail, right? So we stuff these envelopes, and I would help stuff the envelopes. And you know the envelope, the stamps, and I would lick the envelope,
right?
And I would put after about 2 weeks of that, he said, "Dan, you can actually use water for that." I was so dumb. I was getting poisoned by licking 500 envelopes like that and put the whole thing in. But that's how I got started.
Right.
That's like how naive I was. But I was just hungry.
Rule number 6, get good habits.
We are what we repeatedly do. Human beings, we are creatures of habits. You notice that you kind of do the same thing, the same routine over and again and again and again. See, getting rich is not an act. It is a habit. So it is staying poor. It's also not an act. It's not something that just happens to you. It is a habit. So let me teach you the 3 best habits of rich people. The very first habit of rich people, and that is they count their money. Poor people don't count their money. They get a paycheck, they deposit the paycheck, they spend the money, they have no idea what their expenses are, they have no idea how the money flows. You notice, poor people, JOB, they have a job and wait till maybe once a year when they file the tax return, the taxes that are owing, is how much you have to pay. They look at the numbers, they don't even look at the numbers. They just, okay, all right, that's how much I need to pay, file tax return, and that's it. Look at it maybe once a year. Rich people, we don't do that. We look at our numbers regularly. We are financially literate. I'm not a numbers person, don't get me wrong, okay? I'm a concept guy, okay? I'm a big picture thinker. I'm a visionary. But I am very, very careful and I'm very aware with how my money is flowing. Habit number 2 is they pay themselves first. Now, you've heard of this before. Oh yeah, I know, Dan, I've heard of this before. You gotta pay yourself. Do you know actually what that means? Paying yourself doesn't mean buying yourself a car. It doesn't mean taking that vacation. It doesn't mean that, you go blow money on entertainment. Oh yeah, I'm paying money myself. No, that's paying everybody else. When you're buying a car, you're paying the automotive company. When you're buying a house, you are paying the bank. When you are traveling, you are paying the traveling agency, you're paying the hotels, you're paying the flight company, the airplane company. Paying yourself meaning that you put your money aside and you invest your money. Now, I'm not talking about being frugal. If you know anything about me, you know my work. I'm not talking about being frugal and being cheap. I'm talking about taking a percentage of your income and putting that aside, pay yourself first, and save it, and then you invest it. Habit of rich people number 3, and that is rich people are constantly improving their earning ability. Because you might be thinking, Dan, okay, I want to pay myself first, but I'm not making enough money. I'm only making a few thousand a month. I couldn't even afford to pay my bills. How am I going to pay myself first? First of all, you got to have the habit of paying yourself first. If you're not paying yourself first, even a tiny small percentage, when you're making 30, 40, 50, 60, $100,000 a year, I guarantee you when you're making $1 million, $2 million a year, you're not paying yourself. It is a habit that I'm talking about. And in order to do that, in order to be able to, every single year, to be able to pay yourself more and more and more and put into investments, you need to improve your earning ability. You need to find ways how you can add value to the marketplace, how to add more value to the marketplace. So every single year, your income is going up every year. If you've been working in the real world and you have your own business and your income kind of stays flat for the last 2, 3, 5 years, then shame on you. It means you're not learning. It means you're not thinking. It means you're not growing. Every single year, your income, you have to strive to improve that, your earning ability. And rich people will always constantly looking for ways to improve our earning ability, but also looking for ways to add leverage, to apply leverage into what we do.
Rule number 7, don't have unrealistic expectations.
And why do you think so many people fail in spite of the best efforts? You know, a lot of people watching this right now, they've maybe tried different ways of making money online or building businesses. Why do you think is the main reason why a lot of people fail?
I think there are two main reasons. The first one is, I think, because of the whole internet, that people have these unrealistic expectations. They see someone like you and say, oh, Stefan is doing this, he's got a YouTube channel and he's doing Kindle publishing and I want to do that. You know, maybe I'll make some videos too. What they don't see is how many years of effort that you put into it. Yeah. So most people, they listen to a webinar, they watch a video and they say, oh, this guy's making whatever, how much money online. I could do that, and they jump into it. And then they try for 3 months and say, oh, this thing doesn't work. Yeah. Right? Or they jump into the next thing, right. Bitcoin, whatever. Now it's Bitcoin so hard, right? Oh, and then they try that and then try it for 3 months. Oh, that doesn't work. They try the next thing. So I think that the unrealistic expectations lead to disappointment and failure.
Rule number 8, have a healthy mind and body.
I saw a couple comments on YouTube, people asking, well, Dan, do you recommend these like mind-stimulating or mind-enhancing drugs? The answer is absolutely not. If you follow my work, you know I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I don't do drugs. I don't even drink coffee, right? I drink like honey green tea, that's what I drink, and water. And maybe from time to time, Coke Zero when I'm watching a movie or something like that. That's it. No drugs, no cigarettes, and no alcohol. Why is that? Because you notice a lot of times, even with my own story, my father was actually a very heavy smoker. I won't say he was an alcoholic, but he drinks quite a bit. He enjoys a glass here and there. And I do notice later on when he had the stroke, when his health was declining, a lot of those habits contribute to that. If you don't have a healthy body, a healthy mind, there's no way in hell you'll be able to sustain the stress, the pressure it takes to be successful. So I don't think you need those things. You only need those mind-enhancing drugs to be successful, to have more clarity and all this. If you want to enjoy a drink here and there, that's perfectly fine. I'm just saying I don't do it. I don't need to have alcohol to have a good time. And when I drink, I like people, hey, Dan, just a sip of beer, it's okay, enjoy. They don't taste good to me, quite frankly. I mean, they taste like, right? They don't even taste good to me. So I don't enjoy it. I don't need those things to have a good time. If I have a good time, good company, good friends, good conversation, I have a good time. And I don't need to get high I get high on doing what I love. I get high on just life. I get high on being impacted people.
Rule number 9, up your thermostat.
Why great ideas alone are not enough? Why great ideas alone are not enough to change our lives? You see, one of the great mistakes that most people make is they're attempting to change their body, they're attempting to change their relationship, they're attempting to change their income, their finance. They're attempting to change something outside of themselves instead of changing something that's inside with themselves. Some people see themselves as conservative and safe.
Are they going to do anything crazy? Are they going to go bungee jumping or skydiving? No, unless you're drunk or something like that. So you're not going to do anything crazy or act nuts unless you're drunk. Now, you might say it's the alcohol, but really it's just you finally getting permission to be yourself. The alcohol is just an excuse. If you are playful, if you're fun, if you're outrageous, you're going to talk differently, you're going to move differently, you're going to dress differently. Maybe in a red suit. And you're going to do things differently. And there's no right or wrong, but most of us have trapped ourselves in an old self-image and never really update who we are today. So then when you go and learn a new skill, when you go learn a new ability, a new idea, but we're stuck in this self-image, this is who I am, and that's why we never surpass it. Let me give you a metaphor. This will make sense for you. Let's say in this room that we set the thermostat at 70 degrees. Let's say that 70 degrees is a metaphor. It's a what? Metaphor for your comfort zone, which is also known as your self-image, your comfort zone. And most people have goals that are larger, they are more than their self-image. And that's why most people don't get to their goals unless they alter and or expand their self-image. So 70 degrees is your comfort zone. 70 degrees is your body. Not your goal, not where you want to be eventually, but what you're comfortable with. 70 degrees is the amount of love and passion and connection you have in your personal intimate relationship. Again, not your goal, but what you live with regularly. 70 degrees is the amount of money that you need to make to be comfortable. Not your goal, what you're comfortable with. Let's say the temperature drops to 65 degrees. Now what happens is your brain goes, hey, I'm a 70-degreer, not a 65. The heater's kicked on, you feel there's a drive and there's this urge and you want to do something about it. By show of hand, how many of you ever experienced part of life, maybe your body, maybe your income, maybe your relationship, where it dropped and you felt it's not good enough and you felt this incredible drive to do something about it, yeah? Put that way up and say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And from there, and you try something and it doesn't work, and you try something else and it doesn't work, and you try something else and it doesn't work. Now, after a while, nobody wants to be a disappointment. No one wants to feel like a failure in their lives. So what some people do is they lower the thermostats. They lower their expectations. They make their goals smaller, more realistic, more reasonable. Don't get your hopes up or you'll be disappointed. Well, maybe not, I'm not a 70-degreer. Maybe I'm a 65-degreer. Look at those 70-degree people. So arrogant. So full of themselves. They're probably workaholics anyway. I'm being smart. I'm cutting back. I'm downsizing. I don't want to burn myself out. I want to have more balance in my life. Now, before you know it, they're at 62. Then they're at 58. Now, by the way, when they're at 58, do they hang around with 70-degree people? No! They hang around with 50-degree people. So they feel better about themselves on a regular basis. Why do you think people watch reality TV? You know what? I thought my life is a mess. But look at these people on TV. Instantly, you feel better about yourself. Now, but you're at TEDx, obviously. You're not like that. You're an overachiever, yes? You're an overachiever. So when it's supposed to be at 70 degrees, you're at 65, what do? You do something about it, yes? You don't settle. You try it, you try something else, it doesn't work. You try something else, it doesn't work. You try something else, it doesn't work. You don't settle. You don't give up and you don't give in. If you hit a wall, you go around it, you go over it, you go under it, whatever it takes, you do it. And do you stop at 70 degrees? No, you keep going until you hit 80, 85, 90, 91, 92, 93, 99 degree, and your brain goes, hey, 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 what do you think you're doing up here? You're not a 90 degreeer. Who do you think you are? Get back to where you were. And suddenly you realize you're outside of your comfort zone. And then the heater stops and you lose your drive. And you begin to self-sabotage yourself. And you stop doing what got you there in the first place, and you start doing some dumb things, making some dumb decisions, until you get back to exactly where you think you deserve to be. Now, how many of you, I'm sure none of you have done this, but how many of you have seen other people sabotage themselves? Yeah, I thought so. I thought so. You see, the strongest force in human personality is the need to remain consistent with how we see ourselves. The strongest force in human personality is the need to remain consistent with how we see ourselves. So the image that we hold of ourselves controls our successes and our failures, and also impacts every single area of our life.
And rule number 10, the last one before some very special bonus clips, is have a sense of urgency.
The average human lifespan is 75 years. 1/3 of your life is spent sleeping. Another third of your life is spent on watching TV, movies, drinking and partying, traveling, spending time with family and friends, playing video games, commuting to work, buying groceries, paying the bills, being stuck in traffic, waiting in line, mowing the lawn, cleaning up the house, and doing laundry. 25 years left. In the first 18 years of your life, you are growing up. You are learning to walk, eat, run, and talk. You are totally dependent on your parents and going to school because you can't really think for yourself, call your own shots, or know how to be your own person. That means you have approximately 7 years to make your dreams come true. And if you have a job, you probably spend most of that time working for someone else instead of building your own dream. Life is too short to waste time on people who don't lift you up or inspire you. Life is too short to be living somebody else's dream. Life is too short to wait. Life is too short not to take chances. Life is too short to wake up with regrets. Develop a sense of urgency in the pursuit of success and freedom. You must step up to live life on your own terms.
Now I've got 2 very special Dan Lok bonus clips on how to decide to be successful and just keep trying that I think you're really going to enjoy. But before that, I want to make sure we're moving from consuming a video to now actually taking action in your life or your business. So I've got 3 questions for you to ask yourself. And in the answers, write them in your journal to yourself, discuss them with a friend, or leave them down in the comments below. Ready? Here we go. Question number 1. What triggers can you put in your environment to steer you towards success? Question number 2. What will you do to up your thermostat and raise your standards? And question number 3. What is the most important habit that you need to improve right now? Thank you guys so much for watching. I believe in you. I hope you continue to believe in yourself, and whatever your one word is, much love. I'll see you soon, and enjoy the bonus clips.
Well, I was born in Hong Kong, right? So I immigrated to Canada when I was 14 years old with no money, no connections, and couldn't speak a word of English. So you can see even when I still today, I speak with an accent, a little bit of an accent. So my mom and dad, because they were having some issues, and so my mom decided that she didn't want to stay in the relationship. That's why we immigrated to Canada. And at the time I was so young, I was kind of like a punk kid.
Yeah.
I had no direction.
Yeah.
I was getting into fights and hanging around with the wrong gang of people, and just always getting into trouble.
Right.
And so my mom and dad got divorced when I was 16 years old. And then shortly after that, my dad went bankrupt in Hong Kong. At the time, my mom and I, we were living in a one-bedroom apartment. Okay, in one of the worst neighborhoods in Vancouver.
Wow.
So I remember my mom would stay in the bedroom, I would sleep in the living room, right? So on the floor, basically. I remember one day after school, I went home, door was locked, and I knocked on my mom's door. She was on the phone with somebody. I didn't know who, but I heard that she was crying on the phone. And I was like, hey, mom, is everything okay? I was like, oh, no, everything's okay, don't worry about it. And afterwards, basically, I found out that she was on the phone with my dad. And my dad basically told my mom he went bankrupt. He couldn't send us money anymore. Because at first he was sending us some allowance, right? And my mom is a very, very positive, happy person. Like she's like one of those people that she's friends with everybody. Like has no enemies, right? Just a sweet person. So, and I'll never forget the face of my mom. Like that facial expression, just so hopeless. And she was like, "Now what I'm gonna do? I've been a housewife all my life. How am I gonna raise this kid with no money, with a little bit of savings that
And
we had?"
she wasn't working at that time?
No.
And you're 16 at this time as well?
Yeah, 16, 17 about, 17. And from then on, I said to myself, I don't care what the I have to do. I don't want to see that face on my mom anymore. That I don't care what it takes. I don't care how hard I have to work. That's, I think, the turning point. It planted a seed where I know that as a man, we want to provide for the family.
Of course.
And we want to, but I think as a man, we cannot protect the people that we love if we don't have the resources.
Right.
It could be financial, but if we don't have the resources. And that's when I made a decision, I'm going to be successful, because unless I'm successful, I cannot provide for the people that I love. I cannot protect the people I love. And that was it. From then on, I was the only child, and that's when I started my first business. If you ask me the question, right? Oh, Dan, what kept you going? What's the motivation? There's no motivation. Every time I failed in a business venture, I was further and further in debt. So by the time I failed at 13 businesses before having my first success. After you fail so many businesses, I was in so much debt. If I were just to get a job, I would never pay that off. It would take me 20 years to pay that off. So it's more like I'm back to the corner. I have no way out. I gotta make it work. So I thought to myself, I just gotta keep trying. And if I can just make it, and then it'll be fine. And that's exactly what it is. So, I mean, if you're in debt, don't think about if I want to save a few pennies, let's not drink the Starbucks coffee in the morning. If that makes a difference, it's not going to make a difference. You need to focus on wealth creation. So you make more money, then you can wipe out the debt in a short period of time, right?
Altruistic, world domination, honey empire, right?
I'm grateful. I understand why I'm here.
I think because I am so open.
I want you to think and say, it's a bloody brief life.
All of you have the potential for enormous success.
If you want to know what Gary Vee, DJ Khaled, Oprah, and others know about empire building that most people miss, check out the link in the description for a free bonus video.